Welcome to the Fit Dad Club podcast. My name is Travis Jones. I'm here with Jason Barrett. How you doing today, Jace?
Doing incredibly well. I've got a hat on because I need a haircut desperately, which I'm getting tonight. So first time anyone seeing me without my luscious locks out. This is why it's a mop up there. I'm going to lose 2 kilos just by getting a haircut.
Now, before we get in today, guys, we don't advertise on this podcast. We don't, have anything breaks or shortcuts to annoy you on this podcast, but we do ask you to share this with a friend. Like, that's the fee. I want you to share this with a friend, share this with a dad. I want you to share with a mum who knows a dad. I want you to share this with someone who can benefit from this podcast. Today, we're talking about the 5 steps to break out of a rut. So if you know someone who's in a rut or they look like they're in a rut, you can share this with them today and they could follow these 5 steps just to get back their mojo. Now, so many guys that we coach, they've lost the weight, and in the process, what they've done and what they say to me is like, I found myself again. Like I found the old me, the person who I was, the person who I lost maybe a decade ago or 2 decades ago, or maybe just a couple of years ago. They found themselves, like they're way home to themselves again. And I think, you might feel like you're in a rut. You might not feel like you're in a rut. You just might feel like you have an extra gear to get to. And that's what we're going to go through today, guys. So, if you're listening in the car, pull over because today we're going to have some notes. We're going to give you the 5 steps. Jace, are you ready to rock and roll?
Always ready to help guys get out of the ruts. Consider us the Land Cruiser with the tow ball that's gonna tow you out of it.
Love it. So, guys, when we're looking at the first thing is just you have to assess. Like, awareness precedes change, but you have to assess exactly where you are. And I like data because data gives us probably the most crucial tools and we can reflect on this. And I like when we go a scale of 1 to 10. And you can look at the different aspects of your life. You can look at if anyone's done personal development out there is the wheel of life, or we can just break it down into even a less expansive wheel. You can guide yourself 1 to 10. Whereabouts are you right now on your relationship with your partner? So, do you feel like solely connected? Are you intimate? Do you feel loving? Are you a 2? That means you're probably not getting any action and you just probably don't communicate and you don't feel like going home. Or you're a 10 out of 10 and you're really, truly intimate. You feel like you're growing together. Your relationships are fantastic. You foster and support each other. So we have 1 to 10 on our relationships. We have 1 to 10 on our health. Do you get puffed walking up 10 stairs? Have you not seen your penis in the last 10 years? Do you feel like, picking up your kids is hard because your arm may break because you don't have any muscle mass on it? So it's like, is there a 2 out of 10, or do you feel like, hey, I can do anything? I'm ready for action no matter what. And that's like a 10 out of 10. You can run, you can lift, you feel physically healthy. If you took your shirt off, you feel confident in your body. So we have relationship, we have health, we have our work or our business. A 1 to 10. So, have you had the same job and you hate going to work and you're not making the money that you want? Or are you a 10 out of 10? Like, you feel like you're getting career progression. You feel like fulfilled with your work. You feel like you have clarity on your direction and purpose in life on that side of things as well. So even if we just look at the big 3 and we break it down into these 3 areas, now, at the same time, you might be a 10 out of 10 in relationship, and we might be a 10 out of 10 in our work or business, and a 1 out of 10 inside our health. Now, if you're looking at a wheel that's rolling along, now if 2/3 are full and 1/3 isn't, well, that wheel's not going to roll, right? You're going to be stuck. And it's the truth. We do feel stuck, or we do feel like we're in a rut when we're not evenly balanced. So we can expand our areas of life, but to expand, we need to assess where we currently are at. So I want you to be truly honest with yourself, because when you assess, it requires ownership and honesty. If you're not honest with yourself, well, you can just keep lying to yourself as long as you can and keep your limitations with it. And you can just suck for the rest of your life and go, well, I didn't live up to my potential. Or you can be brutally honest. I think brutal honesty is the true is the true. You need to have brutal in front of honesty. It's like, no, I'm a
Mhm.
fat piece of shit right now, and like I can't run up a flight of stairs. You know what? I don't have a great relationship right now because I don't communicate, or I have sex once every 2 months with my wife. Like that's not good either. Like you want to be intimate. It's a big part of a relationship. Or you're not there for your kids if you split relationship into two parts. You don't feel like you give them time. You can't keep up with them. Aren't interested in their needs. Or with your work, you have to be brutally honest. It's like, no, I'm truly just going through the motions, and I don't know. I'm not increasing my skill development to make my sure I'm more valuable. So I want you to go like, am I a 3 out of 10 or am I 8 out of 10? I want you to write why. I think this is a big thing. Why are you a 3 out of 10? And your health, it's like, why are you a 2 out of 10 or why are you a 10 out of 10? Because writing that sentence of why you are where you are by being brutally honest, like I'm a 2 out of 10 because I'm 130 kilos with my health and I can't walk up a flight of stairs and it's not good enough, right? And I'm not happy with, and why am I not happy with where I'm at? Now, if you're a 2 out of 10, you have to also go, you want to focus in these blocks in like these 90-day plans or 16-week plans, like chunk your year into quarters, and it's like 16 weeks, 16 weeks, and 16 weeks. And you can sort of chunk it out like that. And you can just have a sleep for 4 of the weeks. But if we look at it, you go, okay, well, if I'm a 2 out of 10 currently with my health, what would it mean if I was a 6 out of 10? Now, you're not going to go from a 2 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10 in 16 weeks. You're just not. But if we can go to a 2 out of 10 to a 6 or a 7 out of 10 with our health, we could go like a 5 out of 7 with our relationship up to a 5 out of 10 up to like a 7 out of 10 with our relationship. And I think you just have to assess. And you go, I'm currently here. This is why I'm here. And this is my assessment. And I take full ownership of this. No one made me this. I made me this. And then we have to go to bridge the gap to go up 2 points and to make my circle or my wheel more round. I would need to lose 15 kilos. Okay. Because that would give me more energy each day. I would need to be able to move more. You don't have to have the plan here. You just need to make the assessment of where you are, why you are, ownership of this, and go, where do I need to be to close the gap, to grow the wheel, to make it more round. I think this is a crucial step because it allows you to reflect and also project. And you need to do this at the start of any type of transformation, because if you're a rut, it means you need to transform something. If I currently feel like this and I currently sit in this energy and I keep this energy for the next 5 years, am I going to be happy? No. No one wants to fucking sit in a rut and sit in a ditch, because a rut, essentially, you're sitting in a ditch on the side of the road for the next 5 years. No one wants to live like that. You're not living up to your potential. So we assess, we project, go, this is how I'm going to break out of this rut. This is how I'm going to break out of this mediocrity. This is how I'm going to move towards my potential in life and become closer towards the best version of me. What do you reckon, Jace?
I think there's a good distinction between a temporary rut, like a situational rut, and then also it's like like a funk almost, like work. And I've spoken to a number of my guys that have been in very temporary ruts. It's like, something's going on with one of my guys, his wife has had some surgeries, and she's been sort of unable to pick up their they've got a young son who still needs to be picked up and put into the crib and that kind of stuff. So he's always on the bedtime routine for that one, and it's for the last sort of 10, 15 weeks, and it's being a lot, and it means that the nighttime routine gets drawn out. It's like, cool, well, there's a light at the end of that tunnel. Or if you're an accountant and it's tax season, if you're a teacher and it's exam season, whatever, you've got a set of finite constraints that will end. So it's all about, again, this is a good opportunity for you to, you might not need the next 4 steps if you're in a temporary rut. If you're in, it's like, cool, well, let me assess. All right, in 2 weeks' time, I know that this shit is actually going to get easier. Not the whole, I'm just going to cross my fingers and hope that things get better, because that's just, you're not taking ownership for your life and control of where you're at. And I think we did an episode, a couple episodes ago, listen back, take control of your life again, right? If that's the kind of situation you're in. But if you can see, all right, there are some temporary constraints that require a little bit more from me right now, but I know will end by this time, cool, temporary, right? And then you can get, all right, now I know once that's over, I can dedicate more time, and I know now what to expect the next time something like this comes around, so I can plan for it better, right? Put more meals in the fridge or the freezer, or get some 15, 20-minute workouts ready to go so I can keep my health and fitness up, Let my wife know what my capacity is going to be like, so she's not blindsided by my, attention to work or whatever it might be. So address whether it's a temporary or a more long-term rut. So, if you've already got it, if you're in temporary rut, cool, problem fixed. You can listen to the rest just for fun. But for those guys who are in more of a permanent rut, or in one that's been there for a couple of weeks and months, like, you've got to take that time. I know it's like you don't have time, and that's the reason why you're in this position, but you've got to make the fucking time. This is like the difference when you're a business owner working in the business and working on the business. You can be in the business running around doing shit all day long, trying to fix problems that keep coming up because you don't make any time to work on your business, to make sure that the systems are working, to make sure that, all of the sinkholes are plugged. So you've got to do this with your life. You're either, you can either work on your life or work in your life, in essence. So there are periods of time where you need to stop, take a minute, reflect, and go, all right, where am I really at right now, and why? And if you don't give yourself the space, you're not going to get the answers. But the biggest thing I want you guys to take away from this part is, do not use I don't know. I don't know is a bullshit, reflexive, someone fucking, the doctor taps you on the knee and your fucking foot flings up. That's the response. Oh, I don't know. The reason why we respond with I don't know is because of a couple of reasons. Number one, we don't like to be wrong. And by saying I don't know, it protects us from this idea of, what if I give the wrong answer? Or what if the answer frightens me, or not frightens, but like, it's confronting. It's like, well, yeah, no shit. You need to be confronted. This is a fucking self-intervention, right? You've got to be willing to walk into the room and see the big sign and say, yeah, you know what? I need to make a change. So think about, for yourself, for your life, right? Where are you at right now? And if you're saying the words, I don't know, right? The amount of times I've talked to someone and I've said, oh, so, what's really going on for you right now? Oh, I don't know. It's probably because my wife and I have been less intimate lately and my work's been really stressful. It's like, well, why did you say I don't know when you just gave me all the fucking answers, So it's this little hedging your bets. So whenever you say the words, I don't know, I guess the flip side or the immediate response needs to be, what if I did know? What if I knew what the answer was, theoretically? Even if you're like, oh, fuck, I don't know. It's like, all right, there's a theoretical, an alternate universe Jason. I know what the answer is. And if I did, what would the answer be, right? If I had to give an answer, if I had to write something down, like it was an exam, and by at least giving an answer, you got 1 point, right? That's the kind of effort. Because then you find once you start, it tends to unlock more shit inside of you and like sort of unblock it like a drain. So there's no such thing as I don't know. There's just, again, hiding from your own bullshit. So that's just kind of the biggest thing I want, especially for step number one. There is no such thing as I don't know. And there's plenty of things like, oh, look, I don't know what the best strategy is in terms of losing weight, but fuck, that cutting out drinking is a pretty good start. That not going to KFC is probably another good start. That if you're not doing any exercise at all, going for a half an hour walk, that's a good start. If you've listened to any of this podcast, you have plenty of strategies to get started on the process without needing any other help. And if this is your first episode, go back. There's some good shit back there in the episodes. But we'll wait till you finish this episode first.
I think 100%, mate. And the clarification between temporary rut or long-term, some people are in rut for like decades or a decade. And
their life is a rut.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, fuck, is this my life? Like, why me? And the world's happening to them. They're not happening to the world, right? Not for them. I think even if you're in a temporary rut or a long-term rut, no matter what, if you're just temporary and it's like a couple of weeks or even, maybe a month, you can still take everything out of this podcast. You don't have to go, oh, this isn't for me. Well, have you done the Wheel of Life on those the big three for your next 90 days? Like, have you done that? Oh, I haven't done that. Then do that anyway, even if it's temporary. We can always be better. Like, I can always be a better dad. I can always be a better husband. I can always be a better business owner. I can always be better with my health. Like, I can be better at all these things. Like, we are constantly evolving humans. Like, that's the biggest thing. We're either progressing or regressing. There's either way. So we're constantly moving. So you can always reflect and project, no matter who you are, no matter how long your rut is. And, the first thing is assess and being brutally honest. Like, it's that radical honesty, and if you say, I don't know, it's because you aren't being brutally honest, and you're afraid of the answer because you 100% know the answer. And I think the whole NLP side of things, I got from personal development, was if you say, I don't know, well, if you had to know one way you could get out of a rut, what would it be? If it had to be one thing, if you give me one answer, and like, we can always focus on at least one thing. And if you write that one thing down, I was like, well, if there was one more thing, what would it be? And it's like, just focus on one thing, not all the things. Cause sometimes we get overwhelmed. You're like, I don't know, like my wife doesn't talk to me and I feel like a piece of shit because I'm fat and I don't like to take my shirt off and my kids don't talk to me and my job sucks. It's overwhelming. It's like, so it was like, if you,
one step at a time.
Yeah, it's like, okay, breathe. And it's like, if there's one thing that would make me feel better, what would that be? If there was one thing that would make me step forward. And I think it's just taking one step at a time, because like Rome wasn't built in a day and you weren't put in a rut in a day either. Right. So it's taking that one small step, writing down those focuses. And I think assessing exactly where you are and having deep clarity. Okay. Because without clarity, unless we have a point A, we can never make a point B. So you have to know exactly where you are to understand step 2, which is the plan or seeking guidance to get to where you want to be. If you're going on Google Maps, you always have a starting destination wherever you are right now. It doesn't like just give you the end destination. You're like, fuck, I hope I know where I am. And like, it doesn't do that. It's the same as you. You need a starting destination. You need to have clarity, the street number, the street name, what country you're in. You just need to know it all, because that allows you to make a clear picture on how to move forward. You need to know the detours. You need to know everything, guys. You need to know if you're taking a plane or you're taking a car. Like clarity about everything where you're at the moment. Assess, take ownership, be honest, and stop lying to yourself. You got to stop lying to yourself, guys. Oh, it's all right. All right is not good enough. You have one fucking life, right? Or just all right. I'm all right. How you doing today? I'm all right. It's a fucking answer I hate the most. I would rather ask someone like, how you going today? And them say, I'm fucked. Like I'm feeling shit. Or I'm like, it's the best day ever. Like I don't ask people how they're feeling to get an automatic response to placate me, right? Like I want them to be truthful. If you're feeling like you're having a shit day, like tell me. I'll see if I can help. And so if you feel like you have a good day, like celebrate that you're having a great day. And like I'll celebrate with you. Like either way, I want truth, right? I want the truth in all the bad that it is or all the good that it is as well. So I either can celebrate or commiserate or help you either way. So it's like, but that comes down to us as society, like not truly being honest in a lot of our interactions. So it's like you have to be honest with yourself, and that's where it all starts. No more lies. Like literally no more lies. I think that's a big thing you have to start with. Step 2 is in getting out of a rut. So we've assessed we're in a temporary rut, we're in a long-term rut, we've done our wheel of life, we looked at exactly why we are where we are, we know where we want to get to, and we need to now make a plan, or we need to seek guidance. So I think there's 2 ways to create a plan, right? And we'll focus on, we'll touch base on just more the health side of things, and maybe just allude to a little bit of the relationship side of things. But if we're looking at a plan, and have I broken out of a rut before? No or yes? If you have, you can reflect and go, okay, what did I do last time and why didn't it stick? Okay, if it didn't stick because it was you tried to break out of a rut with a quick fix and a long-term solution, then we probably need to seek guidance, because it wasn't a long-term solution, right? And we want long-term solutions, because we don't want quick fixes, because quick fixes, instant results come with instant failure. So I think we have to go, I need to make a plan that is sustainable, that will create momentum for me, because momentum is key to get me out of the rut and get me feeling better. And I need to go, okay, what does that look like? And I go, well, I can either reduce the friction to start with. And that's what Jace was getting at earlier on. It's like, oh, I don't know where to start. It's like, you definitely know where to start. We start by like lubing it up. We reduce friction to start with. Because like, if it's like you running with a parachute on your back. Have you ever seen people running and they're doing sprints and it makes it harder because they got a parachute behind them, and you're running because or even if you're running into the wind, what we want to do is we want to reduce the friction so you can move forward faster before we even start to make changes with, assessing calories or making sure you have great workout routines. So, well, what's your friction? I have a carton of beer a week. Well, that's friction. That's going to give you brain fog. It's going to slow you down. It's not going to help your testosterone. It's not going to help your lean muscle mass. It's definitely not going to help your energy levels. It's not going to help your sleep. All of that. It's not going to help. Oh, I eat I have like a pie and a sausage roll every day and a Coke. when I go to the servo. Well, that's friction, right? It's friction. So, okay, well, I can cut friction first, okay? Or when I order Uber Eats, like because I never want to cook. Well, that's friction, right? Financial friction, because you're just spending money on shit that you shouldn't be spending money on. So you have to assess. When we look at the assessment, we have to go into the plan and go, okay, well, where can I reduce friction first before I start to add shit into my life to get me out of the rut? What's causing friction that is keeping me in the rut in the health side of things at the moment? Jace.
I think, I mean, as well, things like alcohol will do that for your relationship too. It's alcohol is, again, it's another one of those temporary solutions. It's like, I'm feeling tired, I'm feeling, exhausted, or like I've got these emotions and stuff coming up. I don't know how to deal with it. I don't know if I want to deal with it. So I'm going to drink it away. Or what is there to do? Just fucking get on the beers, right? That might be the solution, quote unquote, for a lot of people in the short term. So it's realizing and making the choice like, all right, cool. I know that this is not helping me. This is impacting me in a negative way. So yeah, as Trav said, you need to reduce focus on just taking a couple of easy wins and a couple of easy things out that will make life easier for you and start to move you in a good direction, because it's all about momentum at the end of the day. But you can't get momentum if you don't have a bit of a game plan. And so you've got to trust that the plan that you're enacting is actually going to move you forward. And that's why you need to know what the easy fucking wins are. The easy wins being, drop if you are drinking, cutting down the drinking, right? Completely. If you have to eliminate it, right? That's the shit. That's the number one thing. If you are currently doing that, will improve your mood, improve your sleep, improve your recovery, improve your body composition, your energy levels, that is like your risk of dying early. That is the number one fucking thing that you can do right now if you are currently drinking excessively or even drinking moderately throughout the week. That is the number one thing. There's this old thing, a glass of red wine a day is really good for you. It's complete fucking bullshit, right? Yes, there's some antioxidants in wine or whatever. It's like, that's a fucking justification, because that alcohol the negative impacts of that alcohol significantly outweigh any benefits from, it's fucking made from grapes. No, doesn't fucking count, right? It's not a serve of fruit, all right?
Go eat some grapes.
Go eat some real grapes. Don't fucking ferment them and stew them for months in a barrel, right? So when you are planning and in creating a game plan, I think one of the biggest things you need to, within the sort of the awareness and the audit, is doing a bit of a calendar audit as well. Because again, the biggest thing for most guys is going to be time. Either time to connect with their wife, time to work on their business, time to sort out their health and fitness, to either cook their meals or get a workout in. So first, because don't commit to be, the plan's going to be, I'm going to now do 4 gym sessions a week and I'm going to do 2 cardio sessions, because then you're going to start on an unsustainable plan. And you're then going to end back in a rut because you weren't able to succeed at the plan. So similar, we talked about this with CJ. Remember when CJ lost all his weight? 5,000 steps a day. That was the fucking focus initially. It wasn't game changing, but that got CJ out of that rut.
Exactly, man. And it started momentum. And I think one thing before we go out of that, like when we're looking at food or alcohol, both food and alcohol, sometimes it keeps us in a rut, because when we're in a rut, generally we don't feel good. Right? We're stressed, we feel down, we don't feel like we're our best self. So we're emotionally at a low frequency. Okay. Like that's essentially what a rut is. We're just not feeling great. And when we're not feeling great, we want to do things temporarily to make us feel good in the moment. So we try and hack the chemical bypasses in our brain through like dopamine, and we want to eat food that makes us feel good. So all of a sudden it's like, what makes me feel good? I'll have a Palmer and a couple of beers. And that makes me feel good right now because I want to feel good. So I have something to make me feel good right now, when it's not going to make you feel good long term. So we emotionally lean on food to make us feel good. And then also a lot of people emotionally lean on alcohol to suppress emotions that they don't want to feel. I just need a couple of drinks to wind down. I just need a couple of drinks to get over the stress of the day. Now, guys, that's not a good coping mechanism. Food or alcohol is not a good coping mechanism. I'm not against alcohol at all. I don't drink. Maybe I probably could count on my hand like how many drinks I've had this year in total. Like I just don't drink anymore at all. I'll have like a glass of wine maybe here or there. I probably would have maybe less than a glass of wine a month. But I'm not against it. I'm just not for it. I looked at all the pros and the cons, and I'm not someone who needs to have a drink to talk to people. I'm not someone that needs to have a drink to have fun with my wife. I'm not someone that needs to have a drink to de-stress. I do other things like to de-stress. I train or I work on the problem that's causing me stress. If I
Funny how that solves it. That's weird.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah.
Why would you be so direct like that?
I know. I don't try and cope with something. I just fix the problem. Like if I want to have fun with my wife, like I don't need to have an alcohol to have fun with my wife. I'll go out for dinner. I'll enjoy a steak and I'll have fun with my wife. It's not needed for me. Like if I'm out and having a soda water and we're at a bar and someone's like, "Oh, why aren't you having a beer?" I'll be like, "Because I'm fucking not." So like I've talked to a couple of people this week and they're like, "Oh, there's peer pressure around alcohol," and you just got to tell people like, "Oh, but they want me to have a drink." It's like, no. Oh, but then they just like they call me a pussy or they say I've changed. It's like, yeah, you fucking have. You've changed for the better. Like it's good. Maybe they should too. And like I just whenever I woke up after when I had extra drinks, even if I had like 4 or 5 drinks, right? I woke up not 100%, or I didn't wake up early in the morning and I didn't work out and I just didn't do the things that make me feel great. I looked at it and I was like, well, did those 5 drinks make me I reflect, right? Did those 5 drinks make me have more fun last night? No. Did those 5 drinks make today feel less fun because I wasn't my 100% best self? Yes. Well, I don't need those 5 drinks. And so many of my guys have either cut alcohol out unless it's like special occasions for friends or family, like weddings or anything like that. And they said their life's so much better. They have more clarity, especially business owners. They have more clarity. They're waking up, getting after it. And like their relationships have actually gotten better, not suffered because they're not having a drink with their wife at night. Oh, this is how we, they're like beforehand, it was like, this is how we relax and connect at night. Or it's like, if you don't need to relax over alcohol to connect with your wife, you can relax by giving her a foot massage, and having a conversation with her. Like that's completely fine. And like, it's a foot massage without you trying to stick your dick in her as well. Like it's actually giving her a foot massage because
and if you've got a foot fetish, it's a win-win.
Exactly. But like when you do something for your partner and you're not trying to get some form of reciprocity from it, it actually makes the act of doing the foot massage so much more like better received as well. So and then you probably will get more action anyway. So I think you have to go, well, what is my coping mechanism? Do I need this? Do I not need this? Okay, I'm going to reduce the friction first, and then okay, I've reduced that. Now I can, if I don't know all the things that I need to do I understand calories? No. Okay. Do I understand macros? No. Okay. Do I understand a training program that can fit inside my constraints? Oh, no. Do I understand how many steps I should be doing or how I can do them? No. Okay. Well, then once you've reduced friction, which we all can without seeking guidance, okay, now we can seek guidance to learn these other things. We can find someone who's done what you want to do, or find someone who is coaching you and has a track record of helping people just like you. Again, that is key. A track record of helping people just like you. Because if they've helped like 18-year-old kids lose weight, well, they don't know the nuances of a dad. Because a dad's life compared to an 18-year-old guy who's single without kids' life is completely different. Like I was an 18-year-old guy without kids, and my life was completely different. And like I would just like throw some, I could train as long as I wanted, whenever I wanted. And the strategy of me having abs and feeling great back then was so much more time poor compared to now. I would like train like so much. I would like not have any enjoyment with my food whatsoever. I couldn't fit that into my current life. I need smart, time efficient workouts. I need to be able to eat with my family. I need to be able to make sure that it's not taking away from my family, my workouts. I need to make sure that I'm about to turn 40 next year. I need to have muscle preservation techniques. So make sure I'm having the right training and also the right amount of protein intake. I'm not going low carb, like for long periods of time, like I used to. So that means my energy and my cognitive awareness is better. So it's like, the way I did it before was like brute force. And now the way I do it now, based on my constraints, is I guess scientific, because we have a scientific approach. We use science and data to get the results with our guys, and we educate them. So it's like you need to find someone going, okay, these are the calories I'm on for my body and for what I need. This is the amount of protein I need. This is the I've got 90 minutes a week for my workouts. What can I do? Okay, this is what you need to do if you only have 90 minutes, and this is how else you would try and get the calories burned. So it's like you seek guidance given your constraints and your life, and I think that's a crucial thing that a lot of people aren't willing to admit. It's like, dude, like I used to train, like I know what I'm doing. And even some people, when they come on with us, it's like they try and dictate how they want to train. It's like, no, that's how you trained when you were 20. That's not how you need to train now. It's not the smartest approach. Trust the process. I think seeking guidance is something that requires humility. And it requires a growth-based mindset. I think that is crucial in step 2, breaking out of a rut, because you need to understand that you need to be, again, vulnerable enough to say, I don't have all the answers and I need help. Okay. That's the crucial thing. I don't have all the answers and I need help. And for a dad sometimes and a man to say, I need help, it's hard. But as soon as you say, I need help and I don't have all the answers, then someone can help you.
Yeah, it's having an outside perspective is one of the number one things that'll help you get out of that rut. If no one knows that you're in a rut, no one can help. But when you finally open up, someone can be like, "Look, man, all right, this is super," and they will often break it down for you and make it super simple and make it real easy. It's like, all right, you know what, you're in this rut. This is the situation you're in. Let's adjust what we need to adjust. I can identify these 2 or 3 things. Let's focus on these 2 or 3 things and let's go from there. And then it's like, oh, is it really that easy or that simple? It's like, well, fucking trust the process, and it will be. And that kind of leads us into the next stage, which is talking about daily actions. Yeah. Now, the reason why we want to look at daily actions is because every time you do an action that moves you towards what you want, moves you out of the negative shit, it's like a little tick of dopamine. It's like a little check mark. It's a box. And if you're like, oh, well, I do this thing once a week. When I meal prep on a Sunday, then I'm moving in the right direction. Well, you've got 6 days of the week now where your old negative patterns are going to be eating away at you. And by the time you get back around to Sunday, you're not going to want to feel like fucking meal prepping because you feel like you've taken 6 steps backwards. So you've got to have something that you can do daily. To even if it could be as little as, all right, my breakfast, I'm trading it out, right? Even though this isn't a little thing, this is probably a big fucking thing. If your current breakfast is a pie or a sausage roll and you trade that out for a smoothie or a protein shake that you make at home, number one, you're going to be saving yourself a lot of money. Number two, your health outcomes are going to be much better. Your energy is going to be much better in the morning. Your breath's not going to stink as bad. All of those good things. Your farts aren't going to stink as bad. All happy days. If you're riding in the car with someone, they'll thank you. So to look at what is the daily actions, what is like a couple of daily actions that you can do. And this is where guidance can come into it. But even, for example, if you're struggling with your relationship and your relationship isn't where you want it to be, it might be, all right, you know what, every day I'm going to tell my wife one thing that I'm grateful for her for. That could be and if you're not doing that, even if you're not in a rut, that is a really good thing that you can do. Either a reason that you love her or something that you're grateful for her for. And that will, when you're grateful for someone and you think about the things that they do that you're grateful for, it will naturally make you love them, want to spend time with them more, and make you look for more things that they do that work really well. Who knows? Maybe you'll start getting some of that reciprocated, right? It's not like, hey, I told you what I'm grateful for, you've got to tell me, right? Like we said, it's not about asking for something back, but by providing that, it will naturally make her then go, oh, I feel appreciated. There's nothing more important for a woman than to feel like seen and appreciated for all the things that they do, because they do a lot of shit that we don't think about. I've been listening a lot to some podcasts around like the mental load that a lot of mums and women take on, and just like being able to think about fucking 5 million things all at once, all the time. And it's going on all the time. And all they want is just a little bit of appreciation. So by doing something like that daily, you can drastically improve your relationship. And each time you do it, tick, I'm working on my relationship. It doesn't have to be big grand gestures. I bought you fucking 500 roses. Doing that one time doesn't mean shit, right? It's the consistent nature of it. So every time you do it, it's a tick in the box, right? It's a very, very linear. It's pass fail. We've talked about this before. As long as you don't miss twice, right? For your health, it might be, even if you got like no time in the fucking world, it could be a 10-minute walk. I don't care. It could be going outside and doing a walk around the block. It's like, that is a one more walk than I would have done otherwise. And that is moving me in the right direction. So the daily actions is all about creating momentum, because first of all, you've got to stop the negative momentum, which is what we've kind of been talking about so far, removing the friction. And then we've got to be able to start pushing into some positive momentum. And you'll be surprised at how easy it is. You start walking a block a day, you're like, oh, that's actually, it goes by pretty quick. Maybe I could walk around 2 blocks, right? Maybe I could go for a 15-minute walk. Maybe I could go, and it's like, you don't just start going from waking up at 8 o'clock in the morning to now I'm going to wake up at 5. No, you ratchet it back. I'm going to start waking up at 7:30. I'm going to start waking up at 7. It becomes smaller increments. Same thing with me with running, right? I didn't start by running 5Ks. I started by running 1.5Ks, right? Yeah, it might seem like, oh, that's not that far to run. Yeah, it wasn't that far to run. I was back in 10 minutes and I was still a bit exhausted. But over time, it got better. Then I was like, all right, 2Ks, right? 2.5Ks, right? And then I hurt my back and that stops for a while. But when I get back, it's going to be about 2Ks, 2.5Ks. You ratchet it up, right? So this is what the daily actions are all about. It's just one more vote in the direction of being a fit dad, being the best version of yourself. One more tick in the box, one more point towards you being that best version of you.
Yeah, man. I think like when we talked about like you might be in a temporary rut as well, even once you've lost the weight, just to be honest, for anyone, and I've had a few of the guys go through this, like they've lost the weight, they're training still, and then they get in a rut because they were in pursuit of a goal, they achieved the goal, and then they're like, what is this it? Like, because to be honest, guys, like losing 20 kilos, yeah, you're going to live longer, but you think there's going to be like a victory parade for you, right? Like, oh yeah, everyone's going to celebrate, like, or you think like it's going to be like this magical, you're going to wake up and feel super happy. You don't wake up and all of a sudden like you've got happiness. Like that's just not it. It's who you became on the journey. But when you get to that destination that you were looking forward to for so long, that some of you might have been thinking about for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and you hyped it up to be something great. But like abs are abs, right? It makes you feel good. Like it does. I'm not going to lie. But you know, at the same time, you need to be constantly evolving. So even once we've achieved a goal, we need to then create the next goal. Like, what's the next thing? Or we create a temporary rut in the best version of ourselves, right? We're in a plateau, and when we're not moving forwards, we actually feel like mentally we're moving backwards. So yeah, you have to go, well, I've pursued a goal, then we need to make the next goal. Oh, I haven't ran for a while, Jace, for example. I'm going to start running. And I'm going to give myself a focus to become better at something else. I think that's a crucial thing. So anyone out there, that's why I tell my guys, it's like, let's run a marathon. Let's do a Spartan race. Let's do cool shit now. You've lost weight. Now we do cool shit. We do, like, oh, fuck, I've never thought I could do that. Well, now you can. Because you lost the 20 kilos or 30 kilos or whatever it is, okay, now we can do cool shit with our health that prior to losing the weight you thought was ridiculous. Hey, dude, nothing's ridiculous anymore. You're fit as fuck. Let's do cool shit. And like, so it's a different type of goal. It's a cool shit goal. So I think like that's crucial, because now we're in the pursuit of health and fitness for health and fitness, not for weight loss. And I think that's a crucial distinction for anyone out there who is currently pursuing a goal, listening to this, making sure that we're creating other markers on our time span of 10 out of 10. What's that look like? Oh, dude, 10 out of 10, I could run a marathon. 1% of the population runs marathons. Be part of the 1%. Oh, I don't want to run a marathon. Cool, lift 500 pounds in deadlifts. I don't know. Like do them both at the same day. I do a 500-pound deadlift and a marathon. I don't care. These are your goals, not mine. Like do a 55K Spartan, run an ultra marathon. Like I don't care. Make shit that inspires you, that excites you, that makes you feel a little bit scared, and then pursue that, because that's 100% how you don't get in ruts. The pursuit of excellence. And when I say excellence, I mean your excellence, the best version of you. And then it creates, again, easy daily actions, because if not, they can get monotonous over time. But if our daily actions continue to evolve as our goals evolve, then all of a sudden the daily actions don't get boring. And yeah, some will always be there, right? Like telling your wife, like, one, you love her, two, something you're grateful for, and actually connecting to her. One, it shouldn't be boring. You chose one person to live with until you die, right? So like it's essentially like you want it to be a fun time. So I think a big thing with this, Jace, is I think people don't realize that they are the CEO of their life, right? we talked about before, you
Mm.
you sort of mentioned the fact that, run it if you've owned a business, like you can be in the business, like doing the daily tasks, what we're talking about before, or you can be the CEO, which is the seeking guidance and planning, which is the step two, and you're looking down that 1,000-foot view on your life. It's like, no, I am the chief executive officer of my life right now. Okay, the person who's in charge of my health, you've been doing a shit job for the fucking last decade, right? We need to hire someone to help you. My wife and my relationships are in shambles because my community. Okay, I need someone. I need action plans. I need to see guidance over there. My work is on point. Fantastic. You can keep running the show over there. So it's like you have to look at department heads. You are the CEO. You've got department heads. Do you fire that department head and hire someone else in temporarily to run that department? That would be us, for example. We will run your health department for you and you can then step back into the daily actions. And we'll just tell you what to do. Okay. You have a project manager, okay, to tell you what to do whilst that department head learns in the process of trying to understand, how do I run this department efficiently and correctly? It's probably the best analogy I've ever had.
Yeah. It's a solid one. It's a solid one. You call us your consultants if you want. If you don't want us living in your head, we can just be an external consultant.
Consultant, exactly. So we're consulting. We'll run that department for you. But I think this is crucial, right? It's so crucial. So you're running that department because you're the CEO. You can hire and fire people as much as you want. But so many of you aren't running your life as you are the CEO, right? It's your life. Everything you made up until now is your fault, and your abundance or as much as you want. Like, it's all up to you, the good and the bad. So we have to just keep running it as if it's all up to us as well. So daily actions, we want to tick them off, the dopamine kick, just like Jace was saying, and you have to reaffirm this. It's like you tick it off. You're like, yeah, just like me. Someone who like smashes that protein Weet-Bix in the morning, the overnight Weet-Bix. It's just like me. I prepped this, I ate this, and I won this. I feel great. Like you might think that sounds stupid to do that, but what you're doing is you're reaffirming habits in your subconscious mind that you are a winner that eats like this because you're eating for health and longevity and the best version of you. Okay, you instead of on my plan today, I want to have 500 calories for my lunch. You went to Guzman and Gomez. You could have had the 1,000-calorie burrito, or you could have had the naked burrito bowl with extra protein, which is 500 calories. You took the naked burrito bowl, just like me, hit my 500-calorie lunch with high protein. That's what I do. I win every day. It's like, just like talk yourself up. Like in your head, like say it out loud if you want. Probably not, like people think you're crazy, but rather think you're fucking, killing it and crazy. As far as, killing your goals, not other people. That's a very distinct definition. So you want to be killing it and just reaffirm yourself. Yeah, this is just like me. Someone who gets their steps in. Whenever I have a break, I get up and I move because I'm like, energy is important to me. It's like, just like me, writing a note to my wife every morning, because like some people will say to you, Jace, it's like, you said I got to give gratitude to my wife in the morning, say a compliment, something unique each day if you can. But I leave in the morning before my wife wakes up. Like, some people will have a fucking problem for every solution, right? Yeah. Like they will. And it's like, no, dude, if you wake up early, okay, today while you're out, I'll tell you how to get, one, laid more often, and two, how to have a better relationship. Go buy a bunch of sticky notes, okay? Over the next month for 30 days straight. Every morning when you wake up, before your wife, write something that you love about them and why on a sticky note. Just put it on the mirror in the bathroom. Like, do it for 30 days. Like I love you and the care that you give for our family. I love you and something about the attention to detail. I love you. Like, could be love you for the food that you make me. Like, I love Liv. Like, her love language is food. But like, if you give them something unique and you write sticky notes every day to your wife, and do it to your kids, put them in their lunchbox. Like, be the person that shares gratitude, because even without reciprocity, you're going to get more gratitude coming back at you. That's just how the world works. If you push out positivity, all the positivity comes back out. And that could be one of your daily actions. Like, a couple of my guys, they text someone in their phone every day, right? Every single day they will text someone, go, hey man, I might not have talked to you for a while. I just wanted to know that Like, you're a really great friend, and I hope you're doing well. Like, text someone in your phone book 365 days a year, and I'll tell you what, like 150 to 200 those days, you're going to get a message back from that person like 5 hours later or 10 hours later that's positive to you. Imagine if you got a text message back every day, every other day, telling you you're a legend as well. That makes you feel good. So I think it's crucial. And the daily action sometimes, which comes into the next part, if you're currently in a temporary rut, I get some of my guys to then tick off their daily actions with accountability to me. So you got in a funk. You like missed out on some of your habits. You're just trying to get your groove back. I was like, okay, dude, for the next 28 days, these are our 4 actions. And you need accountability to make sure you do them, because motivation happens after the event, not before it. So when we're trying to get these daily actions back in play, sometimes we're not motivated to do it, and we stay in that funk or that rut. So I'm like, no, you need to text me by 9 a.m. if they're training in the morning that you've sent your text message out, you've done your training session, and you've planned your meals for the day. All you need by the end of the day, you hit your steps, you did your training session, and you hit your calories, and you sent your text message. So it's like every single day, and if they don't send me a text, I'm like, dude, where's your fucking text today, man? Like, I'm the person that's here to keep you accountable, to get you out of this rut and get you back to the best fucking version of you. So it's like, if you need that shit, I'll be that person for you, but I'll call you out on it as well. So if sometimes you need very micromanagement accountability, okay, and then sometimes you need a bit more hands-off accountability with that person who's running your department. So I think when we're looking at this, for yourself, you can have accountability for these daily actions with a friend, you can have it with a coach, but you need to have it to someone as we're getting going. Otherwise, we'll start to blame people for why it didn't happen, make excuses of why it couldn't happen, or justify reasons. Life was hard. My wife didn't make my food, and the dog ate my homework. So I think what we have to look at is accountability must be 2 ways. One, you sharing to them, and them sharing back to you. Okay, well, was that good? What can you do better? Like, or that wasn't good, and how are you going to be better? I think accountability being the 4th step in this process is probably one of the most highest steps that we need. Even if I gave you accountability on a really shit fucking plan, you're going to get better results. All right? You just are. Because I'll make sure you actually stick to the shit fucking plan. So, guys, like, accountability is the most crucial thing in the process of trying to transform your life and gain momentum in an area of life that you're trying to break out of the rut in.
Yeah, it all comes down to just having that external perspective and someone else who doesn't buy your excuses. And, we will often do more for other people than we ever will for ourselves. We will get people that will do stuff because they don't want to let their coach down, or they don't want to, look like a fool in front of someone else. But it's like, when it just comes to doing it yourself, that takes a long time to build that self accountability. It takes a long time before you can sort of get up, look in the mirror and say, you know what, you're going to do this because you said you were going to do it. And that is definitely one type of accountability that you can build to. But you cannot underestimate the power of someone else checking in on you that knows your goals and knows what you said you were going to do, because it's all well and easy to hide when it's like, oh, I said I'd do this, but no one really knows that I was going to do it. No one knows that I said I was going to run. Fuck, I put it up on Instagram stories so that all those people know, like, oh yeah, Jace is working on his running. He's working on his running. I better see some improvements. I better see another check-in soon. Otherwise, I'm going to be like, well, what the fuck was this all about? So having some form of accountability is, as Travis says, like one of the number one things. You could probably, if you had to get an emergency, like, fuck, I've got to get out of this rut right now, getting someone to come in and just hold you accountable to doing some stuff, to doing something, is going to be the quickest way to start to get that positive momentum. You can do all of these within a day, right? You can start all of these almost immediately, but accountability is going to be the thing that keeps you on track on the path of getting out of the rut.
Dude, and like we coach some, like a lot of personal trainers, like some of my clients are personal trainers and coaches. So they know what to do and they can make the assessment, but they need someone to just kick them in the ass and keep them on track. Or sometimes just to write the programs and do the macros for them, because if it's all day, every day, you don't want to do it. But like sometimes anyone needs an accountability person just to make sure they're doing it. So guys, don't bypass this part, because it is probably the most crucial part. And even if you think you know what you're doing, you haven't done it then, have you? So
Mm.
then you need accountability. If you know how to do all this and you don't currently have abs and you aren't currently fit and you don't currently feel strong, then I don't care how much you know. You don't know how to apply it consistently inside your life and given your constraints. So you need accountability. Like it's as clear as day. So make sure that we have the humility to ask for accountability to move forward with our results. The last step to break out of a rut, guys, is just make iterations, because a plan is only good if it's getting you results, right? And, again, I'll say this to my clients all the time, like, we'll go for 3 weeks or 4 weeks without making a calorie adjustment. It's like, dude, no, we don't fix shit until it's broke. We're losing 1 to 1.5% of total body weight per week. Like we're losing a kilo, we're losing 1.5 kilos a week. What went well? Okay, you smash your steps, you hit your training. Okay, you hit your nutrition. Happy days. How's everything going? Feeling great. All right, we don't need to make any changes. Got any obstacles coming up? No obstacles, dude. Let's keep coasting through for this next week. But what happens? You don't pay us always for the weekly. Oh, how you doing, man? You pay us for when it's not working. What do I need to do? Right. So it's like, okay, we hit a plateau. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you exactly what to do to bust out of this plateau, like in a heartbeat. Right. All of a sudden I stalled for 7 days. Don't worry. We aren't stalling for another 7. We're going to get that next kilo off. We're going to get that next centimeter off the gut. We're going to unveil those abs. Don't worry, because all it is a bit of science, right? All a bit of change, bit of science, bit of accountability. You have to make iterations. What worked before doesn't work now. Your metabolism is constantly adapting. Your body is constantly changing. If you're 10 kilos lighter, then you're not burning as many calories as you were. Like it all changes. And like if you then diet yourself down to get results, then we don't want to keep you there. We have to make iterations on the way up to get those calories back up and increase that metabolism as well. So we need to look at the weekly iterations based on the long-term goal. And sometimes making iterations isn't just if you hit a plateau, it's making iterations to step back a little bit. It's like, dude, like we had this plan for 12K steps a day and 4 training sessions and hitting my protein and my calories. Man, I couldn't hit it. I was like, all right, well, let's ratchet it back just a little bit and let's go for 10K, 3 workouts, and let's just focus on the calories. Because what we want to do is we don't want to lose momentum because you've gone multiple weeks with not hitting the goals. I'd rather undersell what you can do and hit it. And then if you actually go above and beyond, dude, you fucking crushed it. Like I want you to win. Okay. So sometimes we have to ratchet it back to make sure we're still winning on the daily. So we win the day, we win the week, right? We need to ratchet it back so we start winning to then get that momentum back to get out of the rut and feel like a fucking beast again. And I think that is such a crucial thing. It's iterations when we hit a roadblock, but also iterations when we're in a rut to make sure that we build that or gain momentum again to make sure we feel unstoppable.
100%. If you're not willing to, people get so wedded to their plan and they get so wedded to just I'm going to do keto. It's the only thing that will work. And this is why getting stuck in the dogma and the idea of the strategy is the be all and end all. The strategy is flexible. It changes. You can fucking adjust it on a day-to-day basis. And as long as the principles are right and you're eating in a calorie deficit and you're, moving more than you burn in essence, and you're following some of the core principles, you're going to get results eventually. But what I tell most guys, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face, and sometimes that punch in the face comes in the form of a change at work or your sleep schedule not being as good as it was, and those are all factors that a good coach will take into account and be like, well, all right, well, I noticed you've not been sleeping well here. That can really affect your fat loss in a big way and your energy expenditure. So let's address that. Let's take a look at what we can do to get you sleeping better to start with, and let's do what are the little things that we can do, the little adjustments that we can make to make the difference when you haven't got the most time in the world, right? All right, let's up the workout intensity. Let's do some of these other things that you might not have the experience and the capacity to think of as far as adjustments go. That isn't always just, all right, now eat less, now eat less, now eat less, now eat less, because that's not the only way to do things.
Dude, 100%, guys. So this is the 5 ways to break out of a rut, like temporary or long-term. Assess, be brutally honest and take ownership. Assess yourself with a scoring system, which is a 1 to 10 out of 10 in your love, your work, and inside your health. Then once you do assess, we want to then plan or seek guidance. First part of the plan is to make sure that we reduce friction. Second part of the plan is to get 1,000-foot view of someone to help us get to where we want to be in any aspect of our life. And we want to create a 16-week plan. And then we also want to create weekly plans. And then the third step is in breaking it down to daily actions. So we break it down to daily actions. And when we complete that task, we want to tick it off. Okay. It gives us a dopamine kick, and we want to reaffirm to ourselves that's just like me. So subconsciously, we're reiterating with the fact we're the type of person who does this type of task. And then we'll do that type of task more often because we like personal high fives and pats on the back. We want to get accountability, whether that from being a coach, or we want to get accountability from someone we respect who will be brutally honest to us if we aren't picking up our type side of the ticket, if we're not doing the tasks. Then we want to make iterations to get us back on track, or iterations to make sure we're on track to hitting our goals. And remember, guys, if you are currently failing as the CEO, not by not firing the person that's in charge of your health department right now, because that person is 120 kilos overweight in a rut with low energy and not feeling great, it's time to actually act like you are the CEO. You time to fire that person and hire someone to take charge. And we can be that person who takes charge for you. And all you have to go is go to fit-dad.club and book in a call. And we'll talk about how we can be the person who is in charge of your health. And we will all just plan those daily steps, the daily actions to lose 1 to 2 kilos every single week. In 10 weeks, 20 weeks, you'll be 10 kilos, 20 kilos down, feeling better, feeling more energy, feeling like yourself again. You'll be out of the rut, feeling like you're 100%, going, oh my God, I never knew I had more energy. And it's a funny thing with our health. When we get that back on track and we feel better and we have more energy, then our job gets better because we're a more confident, healthier, happier person. So all of a sudden we get more money, we get a raise, we get a promotion, or our job is just more fun because we're not a prick anymore. And then it's easier. And also our relationships get better. Because when you feel better, you're better to be around, and people don't want to not be around you. So, your relationship with your kids get better. Your relationship with wife gets better. So like making sure like we focus on increasing that part of the wheel of life that is our health is so crucial, because it has a flow on effect or a carryover effect to those other two most crucial roles in our life. So we always have roles and goals, and making sure we have goals for each of those roles. That's so crucial. Goal for our relationship, goal for our health, and goal for our work. They're the roles we play in this life. So if you're run on any of them, guys, it's time to make a plan. So go to fit-dad.club, book in a call. We'll show you where the gap is, show you how to close the gap between where you are and where you want to be, and help you transform your life in that next 16 weeks, guys. I've got nothing else to say. If you want to write a review or anything like that, let us know. Guys, Jace, do you have anything?
No, comment. If you have any other subjects or things that you're struggling with that you'd like a bit more help with, we're always open to, we want to make this as applicable as possible for the dads that are out there that are struggling with this kind of stuff. Now, obviously we have clients that we work with, but there's plenty of people that we don't work with that would still love to be able to impact and be able to, help give them the best advice possible. So number one, share this with a dad, another guy who they don't necessarily have to be in a rut or struggling. They might be in a rut, but you don't even know about it. And by you sharing this, it could be the thing that helps get them out of it, because they realize, oh, fuck, someone cares. Someone wants to help me, and then that might help them get out. Because the problem is, most of the time guys don't talk about it when they are in a rut. They just kind of feel it and internalize it. So share it with someone, anyone who you think could use it. We're all trying to be the best dads and the best people that we can be, and I think that for most of us is going to start by taking control of your life and taking control of your health.
And guys, like, people do say to me, it's like, man, I love your podcast. I love the banter you and Jace have. I love it's how it's real world and real life examples, and it's straight to the point. Like, we're not talking fluff. So because you like it, that means people like you will also like it. Just so you know, people like you will also like it, because I'm assuming other males who are dads who would need some help. So get the link from Spotify or wherever you're listening to this, and throw it on your Facebook newsfeed, right? Or throw it on your Instagram story if you know how to do that. Like, throw it out there and go, hey, I listened to this podcast and I really like it. And it helps me as a dad to be a fitter and better version of me. And just share it. Like, share the love. We're giving to you, and I do expect for you to give to us. And I want you to pay that price. I want you to share it with someone. In the next 7 days, I want you to pay the fee of one share to someone. Do it to anyone. I don't care. Do it to your mom, do it to your dog. But like, hopefully you do it to a dad. So I want you to pay the fee, guys. Other than that, guys, we will talk next week. Have a great week, guys. But that's peace out from us.
Peace.